you know why Saturn is a fascinating planet? I started exploring the Saturn because of this question. Saturn is a fascinating planet because it is the second largest planet in the solar system, it is the biggest ring, and alas, it is a huge gas giant. One reason that Saturn is a fascinating planet because Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system. For example, it is the biggest planet after Jupiter. In fact, it is called a smaller version of the Jupiter. Also, it is very big and far away that it takes about 6 years to go to Saturn from our planet Earth. Do you know what went to a big Saturn? First, people thought it was impossible to go to Saturn, but according to an article about Saturn in Britannic School, it said that what went to Saturn was in 1970, the United States sent 3 spacecraft named Pioneer 11, Voyager 1, and Voyager 2 to Saturn. Also, in 2004, the spacecraft named Cassini started orbiting Saturn. It dropped a hydrogen to Saturn's moon, Titan. Second reason that Saturn is the fascinating planet because it has the biggest rings. For example, it is about 270 kilometers, but most of the other planet rings are no more than a kilometer. Saturn's rings are made of millions of layers, but other planets' rings are made of just few layers. Also, there are many rocks that made the rings are normally as big as a house. And because of the rings, it impacts scientists to explore about Saturn. Have you wondered who was the first one that found those rings? According to an article in EB Online, it said that the one who first found Saturn's rings was a scientist named Galileo, but he didn't know that they were rings in 1655. Later, many scientists explored the rings with better telescope and learned that it was made with small pieces and millions of those pieces looked like a ring. There is a cool fact. Do you know how Saturn's rings were created? According to a video about Saturn in Brain Pop, it said that no one knows. Last reason that Saturn is a fascinating planet because it is a huge gas planet. For example, it is made with the same kind of things that made other planets in outer space. In fact, it is made with a whole bunch of gas. Ooh, and a very cool fact. Do you know that Saturn is so big, like what it's called, a gas giant? It can fit about 744 Earth. Also, it is very big as gas giant. It is one of the brightest shining stars that shines in the bright night sky. Last, people explore the Saturn because Saturn is a huge planet. It has the biggest and beautiful rings, and at last, it is a giant ball filled with gas. And because of this fact, it impacts people to explore more about Saturn. So Saturn's exploration had changed for many years. First, scientists named Galileo found Saturn's rings, but he didn't know it was a ring. After many years, scientists had found out the truth. Nowadays, scientists are exploring the Saturn to learn about Saturn's rings.